Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Today's Weather Tonight. I've got a little bit more of a somber tone today because we are currently experiencing an incredibly destructive situation throughout much of the United States. There is a outbreak of supercells that have been spawning tornadoes all day. Um, um, very destructive storms are breaking out throughout everywhere from Texas to Ohio. And really, the whole storm system goes into upstate New York and Pennsylvania as well. Throughout the day today, we have seen incredible damage, multiple particularly dangerous situation warnings issued from the Storm Prediction Center. Um, multiple. We're still looking at a lot of hail reports. Oh my goodness, there have been so much hail throughout Missouri and Illinois. So much hail that it covered the ground and made it look like it had snowed. We saw everything up to like golf ball and tennis ball sized hail. Um, there's been, I can't even count how many actual tornadoes. I think we had there's been at least 12 simultaneous tornado warnings issued at once at one time today. Um, we've had multiple mesoscale discussions. As you can see, they've gone up to 49 tornado warnings or watches today, just today alone. And then in our mesoscale discussions, we have seen there's a continuing tornado watch in southern Illinois, near the Kentucky border. There's also a really concerning storm here headed straight for Little Rock, and you don't usually see a mesoscale discussion that says strong tornado possible next 60 minutes. That is a very definite prediction for that is a real high amount of certainty for a prediction like this. Mesoscale discussions don't usually use that strong or certain of a language. We're in a enhanced risk. Obviously, we're in enhanced risk throughout much of Arkansas and southern Missouri right now. We're in a slight, I don't even know how this is still a slight risk, but we are in slight risk throughout the Ohio Valley. Just really this entire line. These are disconnected storms. The difference between this and a normal front of strong thunderstorms is that these are all cells that popped up on their own. This is not a big movement of massive, this is not one big wave, which would be easier to deal with. This is a bunch of small individual cells that have spawned their own tornadoes. And even where there are wave type, like more of a line of storms, those are incredibly dangerous too, because they can randomly get little kinks in the line and that becomes a tornado. We're obviously under some let's see if we got watches. Yeah, I mean, we've got enhanced risk was supposed to be in the Arklatex region today, but really we've seen devastation in Ohio and Illinois and Indiana and Ohio. Um, these are all the places that we've had tornado and severe thunderstorm watches today. Our mesoscale discussions have been located in Indiana and Ohio, as well as in Arkansas. Storm reports. So yeah, okay, we've got 8 tornado reports officially. One was here just north of Dallas, Fort Worth area, and then several have been on the Ohio Indiana border, and one here down in the Indiana and Kentucky border, and incredibly large amount of hail reports. That is up to like 420 reports of hail, 427 reports of hail today. Let's see if I get can I get a big map? Extremely high winds throughout all of Missouri. Okay, so we saw just north of St. Louis, Missouri, there was a tornado that swept through a heavily populated area. There's also been tornadoes sweeping through some more densely populated areas around Columbus, Ohio. Also, a lot of populations centered in the area where Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky meet. We're looking at a lot of damage, both monetary and in life lost. We are getting extreme hail, all kinds of tornadoes, and really electrically active storms tonight. So this is issued 10 minutes ago. That's like right when this is one that I haven't even seen yet. Okay, so we are in a tornado watch for much of Kentucky and the Ohio River Valley. Looks like we're going to get this whole line of storms that this spawned a tornado right here, right on the Indiana, Ohio, Illinois border. That line of storms is about to sweep into Kentucky. So everybody in Kentucky, keep an eye out. Also, nothing going on in the deep south. We've got, the line of storms that's been working its way through Missouri today is finally getting into Tennessee, and also we're seeing some supercells spawning between like Nashville and Alabama. We also saw we've even seen watches issued in Mississippi today, but we don't even, there hasn't been time to talk about that because there's just been so much actually, so many nonstop. Okay, that's the one I wanted to see. Okay. So these are the counties warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings, and flood warnings even. And our radar is looking pretty gnarly. Let's take a look at the SPC composite map. This is what we're dealing with. So we've got this constant spray of equatorial maritime Pacific air going over the mountains in Mexico and Texas, and finding a really ripe area of convective available potential energy here in the center of the country. We've got, let's see, our cinch is really our cap. And the Cape is what's our tornado juice, basically. This is a lot of potential for continued thunderstorms throughout the night. Let's show you now down here, down near the surface, we've got this good Gulf of Mexico stream funneling south to north air. And then on the backside, we've got almost the exact opposite wind direction happening. And so that is one way that this kind of spins up tornadoes all over the place. If you've ever, like, you know, how when your hands go opposite motions holding a pencil, the pencil will rotate. This is that's the exact mechanism that's happening right now, where the surface winds are going pretty opposite directions, and they're not just converging, they're sliding against each other, kind of like an earthquake, but for the wind. So that's what's happening at the 850 level, like lower level jet. Then as we get up into the 700 millibar height level, we've got a lot of available humidity aloft, and we're getting lots of wind blowing storm parallel to the track of the storms. Then as we move further and further up, we get to the 700 to 500 level, and we can see there is a lot of moisture. This is the mean relative humidity, and these are at 95% relative humidity. This is a lot of moisture. We're getting both Atlantic and Pacific moisture in this system, and the air behind the system is just blowing right back into it. Then let's take a look at the 500 height absolute value. This isn't even the storm that we're looking at, and this is a big bowling ball of cutoff low energy that's going to be scooping right behind it. This is the area where we're looking at all the severe weather happening right now, but we're not out of the woods yet once this is over, because this is probably going to cause similar types of damage. And like, as you see, this goes really along between 576 and 570. This is really, really, really bad. I don't even know how else to say it. As we get up to the 300 height, we get a strong upper level jet going from the Pacific towards the northeast of the country, really going parallel to the storm tracks. But when you look at that with can we get 800 heights, and maybe it doesn't really help. Yeah, put 800s on top of that. Okay. When we're looking at the 850 warm air advection and wind directions on top of where we've got the Cape and Cinch, this is a clear recipe for extreme tornadoes. I don't even know how else to say it. We've got our temperatures, though, are looking... I can't do both. Temperatures are looking really warm for the nighttime, like in the 60s and 70s all throughout here. You can really see where the line of storms is by where it goes from in the 60s to really rapidly into the 50s and 40s. So yeah, behind there is some cold air, but it's not like a cold front we are looking at. Well, it is kind of. Like, let's turn on the frontal analysis. You can kind of see that's a bit of a cold front, but it's really nasty weather. This will be coming into the East Coast soon, so Mid-Atlantic region, watch out. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to do. I really don't want to have to click away from any of this just in case, but I think that I'm going to have to, yeah. I think I'm going to have to do the rest of this update and then come back to this at the end to see what we've missed. Let's take a look at null Earth. Let's see. So as we go up in the atmosphere, let's look at these winds again as we go up in the atmosphere. I also want Cape on instead of wind. Well, I guess I have to do. Why won't it let me click on the different heights for wind Cape? That's weird. Okay, so I guess I'll put it on wind at the surface. Then we get up to 850, and that's really where you see that like counter flow, that spinny motion. Then as we make our way up in the atmosphere to the 700 level, we start to see a little bit more of a decision to move in this direction. Then as we get up to the 500 level where we get our jet stream, we see a really solid west to east wind blowing and slightly north. But then as we get up to the 250 level, and then we are practically in the ionosphere after that, there's a lot diverging aloft here. Very interesting suction effect that happens. Now, then as we get up into the stratosphere and into even what would be the ionosphere, really, we're noticing similar wind directions. So really the big story that we're looking at here for the tornadoes is this 850 level divergence. Or confluence. Well, it's confluence in some areas and diffluence in others. This is just a nasty little storm. Let's take a look at our Cape again. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Do y'all see that? Just blowing so much convective available potential energy from the Gulf of Mexico into the heart of the Midwest and the Rust Belt. Even when I click away from this, I think this has got me on surface level winds, but y'all saw how there is a good amount of wind coming from this direction as well. Well, God, this is just a nasty, nasty storm. I don't see it slowing down, even though the sun has set. It's going to be a nasty all-night storm. Really tragic situation going on there. It really tragic because the weather forecasters did not see it breaking out in Ohio so badly. There was more concern about the Missouri and Arkansas region of the storm, but as we're seeing, things are just going to heck in a handbasket over here in Ohio. Um, let's take a look at, I mean, we can see the bend, some kinks in the line here and here. Um, really looking at, you can even see the storms on this radar. You can see the drop in temperature just from the storm, just from the clouds being there. Let's see. I want to see. Oh yeah, and you can see this is all the water, the energy that's available there. Let's do equivalent potential temperature in wind barbs. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what to tell you on that. Let's look at our observed precipitation for today. Got a lot of precipitation over there in Colorado and Wyoming as well. And it doesn't even, the precip is really lacking where we saw all of our tornadic activity today. This really is like, it'll be a beautiful day, fine, fine, fine. Then big thunderstorm with a tornado, and then all of a sudden it's done again. These are really isolated from, these are really concentrated. This is like thunderstorm concentrate. Let's take a look at the, let's see what else is going on Earth, because we know that this is bad. Let's take a look at our interactive earthquake browser. I wonder if there's any earthquakes occurring simultaneously with this. Set this for from yesterday to today. Happy Pi Day, everybody. It is 3.14 or 314, which is the first three letters of the number pi. So people call this Pi Day. Have a piece of pie for me. I didn't have any pie, but it is good. All right, let's look at it with plate boundaries as well. All right, look at this North Mid-Atlantic Ridge activity. We've got a lot of shallow 10-meter depth, 10-kilometer depth magnitude, 4.9, 5.2, 5.1, 4.8, all in this, and a magnitude 6. That is all today, folks. There is a lot of activity happening here in the just the middle of the Atlantic. We're kind of west of the Azores, I would say. Are we even near any? I mean, this is east of Bermuda. I mean, that is a lot of energy and shallow energy. We're still seeing tons of earthquakes continuing in Puerto Rico. I don't know what that's all about. Not too many earthquakes in the area where we've seen tornadoes, thankfully. There's still the regular West Texas earthquakes. I mean, we all know what that's from, and in southern Texas and central Oklahoma as well. We know what those earthquakes are associated with pretty well. I don't need to say it. We're seeing a little bit of activity in Ohio, but not what or Idaho, excuse me, but not as much as we saw last week with those 3s over there, and a little swarm of earthquakes between LA and San Diego. A lot of, typical California tremors happening. Let's zoom out and take a look at the rest of the world. Got some out here in the Aleutian Islands. On Rat Island, we had a 4.1 at 20 kilometers depth. Midway deep and shallow earthquakes ricocheting all the way in through the Middle Passage and into Fairbanks. That's also pretty typical, from Anchorage to Fairbanks, getting just that is pretty typical for, in my observations at least. We also saw continued medium level deep, like just a little bit below shallow, 5.6 here in Japan, off the coast of Japan. Is this a 6? Yeah, that is a 6 at 50 kilometers depth here, just east of Papua New Guinea in the Solomon Islands chain. Seeing a few mild 5.0, 4.9s in the, what does it say? Southern Molucca Sea and the Banda Sea. Here in the Andaman Islands, we had a 4.8. Nothing in the Fiji, Tonga, Samoa region, though. That's interesting. That usually has some deep quakes, but not recently, I guess. Got one here on the Western Indian Antarctic Ridge, a 5.5 at 10 kilometers depth. Let's see. While we're over here, we also saw continued deepening earthquakes in the Afghanistan-Tajikistan border region, some here in Kyrgyzstan and Xinjiang, China. And here in Qinghai, China, they've had a magnitude 4.7 at, again, very shallow depths. In the northwestern Balkan region, we had a magnitude 5.4 at 7.577 kilometers depth. So that is a little out of the ordinary. I would be really surprised if we don't see some of this energy going towards Iceland. We also had nothing to sneeze at over here in South America, but pretty quiet throughout our usual hotspots today. Our usual hotspots being southern Mexico and Central America, and the Fiji, Tonga region, but really pretty quiet today. But popping up in abnormal places. We are still experiencing earthquakes out here in the Galapagos Islands, which makes sense because they are having a active volcano eruption on the Galapagos Islands right now. Let's take a look at volcanoes today. Actively erupting, renewed lava flow eruption in the Southern Pit Crater in Ethiopia. So we're back up to 28 actively erupting volcanoes. Let's see. From yesterday, we got Dukono added to our, okay, Ebeko, Paramushir Island has erupted. Here's a picture of that. Sakurajima volcano is still actively erupting. Dukono continues to erupt. Here's the SO2 emissions, the sulfur dioxide emissions from Fernandina volcano. That's the one that is erupting in the Galapagos, where we also saw an earthquake today. And this is a visual. Okay, the lava flank has officially reached the ocean. So lava is flowing. Oh, this is Tinakula volcano in the Solomon Islands. Excuse me, this isn't Fernandina. So let's see. Lava flow gradually continues to slow down. Very high thermal anomaly was detected. In the Solomon Islands, the volcano has recently entered a new effusive phase. New lava flow travels from the summit vent and feeds the western slope of the volcano. Popo continues explosive activity. Um, let's go back to today's full update. Santiguito, Fuego, and Popo also. All right, magma intrusions beneath Svartsengi continue at a constant rate. Uh, we've probably reached 8 to 13 million cubic meters of magma under in that reservoir after we got that new dike formation the other day on March 2nd. Accumulative pressure under the reservoir roof continues to increase and might result in a sudden release of CO2 rich bubbles trapped beneath it, leading to a vigorous lava fountaining eruption onset. Therefore, the likelihood of a new dike propagation on the surface is highly likely within the next few days. So, yeah, we're looking at any day now for Rearcast eruption, and seeing that earthquake in the North Atlantic Ridge, I really feel like that's coming soon. Merapi continues to explode, so does Popo and Santiguito. Let's see Mount Ibu. That's not really given a great one. Neither is that of Merapi, but this is the new eruption, new lava flow in the southern pit crater in Ethiopia in the Danakil Depression. Remember, that's the East African Rift. That's a one of the only rift zones on land surface that we can see actively rifting and erupting. It looks like it has gotten the Erta Ali Danakil Depression in Ethiopia. Lava continues to spill out, currently about 450 meters long. So that's exciting. Quite an exciting volcano update. Let's take a look at what Reykjanes is, or what Iceland has said about themselves. Okay. Look at all that earthquake activity. Lots of little trembles all up and down the peninsula. Nothing. Let's take a look at the Reykjanes Ridge, see if anything out here. Yep. Recent. We got a recent, these are twos up here. Out here in the middle of the ocean, spilling onto the Reykjanes Peninsula. Let's see. Continued increased likelihood of an eruption. So what does that mean? That means that we are still right on the edge of eruption. This is where there was a new dike formation. That was the March 2nd thing. And now we are back to about 10 million cubic meters of lava. And that is where we had an eruptive episode. That's the threshold of volume that we had an eruptive episode at for the January eruption. So we should be erupting really any day now. Unusually rhythmic pattern of unrest up to this point. Really interesting. I always wonder if the unusually rhythmic patterns have anything to do with tides, but that's just me. We are still in a really dangerous situation here, but not as dangerous as they are experiencing over in Ohio right now. Let's go. I never went to Goes East. Let's see what this looks like. Oh my God. Yeah, y'all. This is the explosion of severe weather that we've seen. Just a nasty, nasty storm moving throughout all of Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky. Really devastating there. Let's take a look at the microwave combination. Yeah, that is some dense, dense clouds. That is some really active situations. And then right behind it, we've got these really cold clouds. Um, and as you can see, this is being fed from both the Pacific on one level and from the Gulf of Mexico on another level. So both we're getting both that like strike slip kind of air mass earthquake motion that I was demonstrating with the pencil, and we also are having uh, uh, a lot of veering as you go. The winds are changing direction as you move up in the atmosphere. So that will also cause a lot of vorticity that can then spin off into tornadoes. And we are currently seeing a lot of that really spawning here in North Texas and just continuing up the chain, up the Ohio River into Pennsylvania, really now. So not looking good there. Let's take a look at our solar weather today, though. Let's see. Pi Day solar weather. All right. So yesterday we had pretty much no coronal mass ejections yesterday. We've had some pretty fast but short eruptions today. Yeah, I mean, that's powerful. It's really fast, but it's really powerful. Not powerful enough to get a whole halo going, but currently no noteworthy space weather, allegedly. Let's see, sunspot regions. We are done with the 390s right now. No, we were expecting 35 to make it to, yeah, and that is here, I believe. Let's take a look at our far side of the sun by helioseismology. Yeah, that's what's about to come onto our sun. All right, we did have an M-class flare in the past day. So our X-ray flux is increasing again from this really low minimum we'd been having. We'd been having a really low X-ray flux background, but then looks like today at about 6 UTC, that would be pretty early in the morning, we saw a M1 flare and a few others getting into the upper C range. So it looks like maybe we're climbing back up into a more active X-ray flux time. Let's see. Let's see if Enlil has any coronal mass ejections modeled. That is that really fast solar wind that we just experienced a few days ago with that G2 solar storm that we got. All right. Yeah, it looks like something is supposed to go just to the north of Earth, not really looking like we're getting a lot Earth directed, though. Maybe to the south of Earth, too. There's one right behind it. Interesting little bowing there. Let's see. Solar Dynamics Observatory. Let's take a look at our high cadence 193 angstrom view so that we would be able to see the coronal holes. Welcome, everybody. If you're just tuning in, we are updating you on a really active weather day. This is by far one of the most active severe weather days on the terrestrial atmospheric weather since I've started broadcasting this year. I think this is the most active day we've seen in 2024. I'm just checking up on the sun. Looks like this coronal hole is starting to fill itself in with bright spots. In this area where I talked about it looking like mammatus clouds is, oh, there's the coronal mass ejection from earlier. Let's take a look at that. Look at this CME up here, this big filament launch. Oh wait, maybe I didn't go past it. Yeah, this is heating up. Look for the filament launch. Maybe I missed it. Where'd it go? Yeah, this is what's about to launch. There. So that is probably going to go north of Earth, even though it was Earth directed. That was a big launch. Everything else just snap, crackling, popping around here. This looks like it wants to work itself up into something right there. And we're about to have some really bright regions rotate onto the Earth-facing disk. So really exciting solar weather. Let's take a look now at our planetary weather. Let's see where the planets are today. If you're tuning in from anywhere in the Ohio River Valley, please seek shelter immediately. There are a lot of tornadoes, a lot of severe weather, hail, extreme hail events, and tornadoes going on from in this big arc from Texas all the way up to Ohio. So please be very careful and let your friends know if they are in that region to pay attention to their local weather services. Okay. And I mean, gosh, wasn't this the transit for severe weather today? I really feel like this Mars square where the sun or Mars is squaring Uranus in Taurus, which is a very electrical planet in placement. Uranus is very electrical, and Aquarius is as well. I think of Uranus and Aquarius as being associated with weather, not in triggering the weather necessarily, but representing metaphorically what meteorology is. Also, the moon just passed over that square, bringing a little bit more of a anchoring in those energies into the Earth's system. We've also got a Venus in Pisces about to conjoin Saturn. I wonder if that's going to have anything to do with eruptions or earthquakes as well, because we've been seeing Venus be more of a major player for triggering eruptions this year. We've also got the moon currently in a sextile to Neptune, where the sun is about to conjoin Neptune. And the moon is about to trine exactly Pluto in Aquarius. So I feel like all of this is just the severe weather outlook, really on the mundane astrology. We're moving into the eclipse season, and like the moon that is waxing and growing right now will become a full moon on an eclipse. So we are in eclipse season. So this is also we're moving into the vernal equinox season. We're also moving into the time of where planetary rays couple, or solar rays couple more readily with the Earth's magnetic field, because it's where the Earth is the least tilted away or towards the sun at those equinoxes. I think that when we get Venus conjoining Saturn will probably be around the time the sun joins Neptune. And I believe by that time, um, we'll be also moving into Mercury retrograde season soon. Okay, so we are in a Jupiter day and a Jupiter hour right now. Jupiter also being the sign of storms and electrical activity, lightning, really. Uh, we've also got Jupiter here in Taurus, kind of approaching its conjunction to Uranus, really within 7 degrees of a conjunction to Uranus. But it is also kind of roughly squaring Mars in Aquarius. So, really not a happy Mars right now, being squared by the moon, who's exalted in Taurus, Jupiter and Uranus, who have been having a grand old time in Taurus recently, and just looking mean mugging really at this Mars in Aquarius. How dare you make us think about the collective? You know, we're thinking about our material security. Don't make me think about the collective, Aquarius. We're still in a Pisces stellium, so really, really chaotic stability right now. Things are in flux. Health is also a big one of the significators, or one of the things that Pisces signifies is associated with health, in the way Virgo and Pisces are both associated with health. But this is really, I think, a deadly lineup looking at Pisces. And let's just go back one more time to check on the, you know what? I want to go to goes and see our, yeah, I mean, these are not, I mean, they're slowing down a little bit, but there's still not nothing. There is still more fountaining off of this spawn point, this like storm spawn point here on the Texas Oklahoma border. They are still just pumping out storms, and they're all headed for basically headed for Ohio. This is not good. Especially because we all know that at night, severe weather is more deadly. This is the Little Rock, Arkansas tornadic warned supercell storm that we've got going on right there. There's also a supercell in Tennessee headed towards me, basically. I think North Carolina, we're going to see some severe weather out of this by the time it's all said and done. So, you know, don't be scared though. Have an earthquake plan, have a disaster bag ready, have an emergency kit that has a little bit of food, money. Well, not, yeah, I don't think money is as important to put in there. A little bit of food, first aid kit, change of clothes, socks, shoes, a helmet. If y'all are in tornado or hail country right now, get a bike helmet or a something that has a chin strap. Hard hats can work, but like really what you want is something like a bike helmet. That's going to be super crucial for getting in your little bunker. Even if you don't have a bunker or a basement or anything, please make sure that you are staying prepared for these storms. Let's go to, let's check out. It's not going to show us anything on the night side. Never mind. It's not. It's not going to tell us anything. Let's go to, I'm going to go to tropical tidbits, actually. I don't go to that much on this stream, but I think it's going to give us a better look. Yeah, let's take a look at this. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. You can really see these isolated cells pop out in this one. This, we're getting rotation, we're getting expansion aloft, really all throughout Arkansas and southeastern Oklahoma. Just massive ballooning storms. I mean, that is incredibly high brightness values, especially for a nocturnal storm. Gosh, this is devastation. I really don't want to know what's going on in Arkansas right now, because that is a very heavily populated area. God, that's terrible. I do apologize that I don't have better news for the weather today, but sometimes I tell you what's going on, and what's going on is rampant devastation across the United States, the heart of the United States, the breadbasket. I mean, look at these clouds booking it. These are high, deep clouds, moist upper levels and moist low to mid levels, all at once. That's where you see the white, is where you see all of them. You can kind of see the moist low to mid levels scooching up through the upper levels where it goes blue to green, and then into high and deep clouds here, like when we're going over Mexico. But then once we make it into the area of the United States that has a feed of Gulf of Mexico moisture at their lower levels, this is creating all kinds of vorticity and tornadoes and extreme hail, extreme hail, like looks like it snowed amounts of hail, lots of damage everywhere. So really, let's say our prayers for everybody out there. And if you are in the path of these storms, please don't go to sleep unless you are in your safe place with your emergency kit, with your shoes on and your helmet on. But I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm just trying to say, it is a good idea if you live in even Kentucky and West Virginia and Pennsylvania, even these parts that aren't warned. These are still incredibly heavy hail producing storms today, and have already spawned multiple deadly tornadoes. There have unfortunately been reports of casualties in both Ohio and Indiana. So let's keep everybody in our prayers and our thoughts, and also stay safe yourself if you can. Now I'm going to go to long wave infrared. Okay. Yeah, still looking like a lot of devastating outbreaks. It's really focused on Arkansas right now. We saw most of the storm was focused in the Missouri, Illinois area. And then it shifted to a really deadly sunset hours storm outbreak in Indiana and Ohio. And now that we are into the midnight hours, we are looking at a lot of severe weather here in Arkansas. So that is just some gnarly storms there. So please, if you know anybody in or around Arkansas at all, please warn them, call them, wake them up, make sure they know that there is something really nasty brewing out there. And then the remnants of it will get torn up a little bit by the Appalachian Mountains. You can kind of see that happening already as the storms pass from Kentucky into West Virginia. They are starting to fizzle out and get, I say, chewed up by the mountains. What I mean is that the surface terrain is not conducive to the storm staying alive. I think of the mountains as like teeth that bite into the storms from below. So everyone on the other side should be pretty okay, but there's still going to be those massive clouds aloft that will be ready to rain. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But again, really, buddy, really damaging storms today. The Pi Day outbreak was incredible, just incredible. I don't think anybody expected it to get this bad. There was an enhanced risk, and 5 days ago they had a 5-day slight or enhanced risk, and that is, you don't see that far out. So we knew this would be a big day, but God, not a great time. Not a great time. But on a more positive note, let's be a little more positive and use my very, very hippie, hopeful deck to get a little bit of cosmic weather. What is going on in the cosmos? What needs to come out? What do we need to hear about from the cosmos? Okay. All right. I got two that jumped out. First one is all is well, which is pretty nice to hear after such a devastating storm day. Babies are beings from the non-physical, eternally coming forth for the creation of that which they decide. The babies are wanting so much for you to know that all is well. All is well. They want us to know. And also, the law of attraction, the most powerful universal law, is my friend. You create with your every thought. By the universal law of attraction, that which is like unto itself is drawn. You are attracting the essence of whatever you are giving your attention to, wanted or unwanted. So, let's take these into account as we hope and pray that everybody is safe and well tonight, and that all things are happening for the highest and greatest good. Everything is okay and can be okay, even in the midst of terrifying devastation at the hands of the atmosphere. The law of attraction is your friend, and all is well. All right. I think that's it for me, guys. Have a nice night. Love you very much. Please be safe. Bye.